अथ षष्ठोऽध्यायः आत्मसंयमयोगः। श्रीभगवानुवाच अनाश्रितः कर्मफलम् कार्यं कर्म करोति यः स सन्न्यासी च योगी च न निरग्निर्न चाक्रियः। यं सन्न्यासमिति प्राहुः योगं तं विद्धि पाण्डव। न ह्यसन्न्यस्तसङ्कल्पो योगी भवति कश्चन। आरुरुक्षोर्मुनेर्योगं कर्म कारणमुच्यते। योगारूढस्य तस्यैव शमः कारणमुच्यते। यदा हिनेन्द्रियार्थेषु न कर्मस्वनुषज्यते सर्वसङ्कल्पसन्न्यासी योगारूढस्तदोच्यते। उद्धरेदात्मनात्मानम् नात्मानमवसादयेत्। आत्मैव ह्यात्मनो बन्धुः आत्मैव रिपुरात्मनः। बन्धुरात्मात्मनस्तस्य येनात्मैवात्मना जितः। अनात्मनस्तु शत्रुत्वे वर्तेतात्मैव शत्रुवत्। जितात्मनः प्रशान्तस्य परमात्मा समाहितः। शीतोष्णसुखदुःखेषु तथा मानापमानयोः। ज्ञानविज्ञानधृतात्मा मूढस्थो विजितेन्द्रियः। युक्त इत्युच्यते योगी समलोष्टाश्मकाञ्चनः। सुहृन्मित्रार्युदासीनम् साधुष्वपि च पापेषु।
തിരിച്ചു വായിക്ക് പെണ്ണ്.
सुहृन्मित्रार्युदासीनमध्यस्थद्वेष्य बन्धुषु। साधुष्वपि च पापेषु समबुद्धिर्विशिष्यते। योगी युञ्जीत सततम् आत्मानं रहसि स्थितः। एकाकीयत चित्तात्मा निराशीरपरिग्रहः। शुचौ देशे प्रतिष्ठाप्य स्थिरासनमात्मनः। नात्युच्छ्रितं नातिनीचं चैलाजिनकुशोत्तरम्। तत्रैकाग्रं मनः कृत्वा यतचित्तेन्द्रियक्रियः। उपविश्यासने युञ्ज्यात् योगमात्मविशुद्धये। समं कायशिरो ग्रीवं धारयन्नचलं स्थिरः। सम्प्रेक्ष्य नासिकाग्रं स्वं दिशश्चानवलोकयन्। प्रशान्तात्मा विगतभीः ब्रह्मचारिव्रते स्थितः। मनः संयम्य मच्चित्तो युक्त आसीत मत्परः। युञ्जन्नेवं सदात्मानं योगी नियतमानसः। शान्तिं निर्वाणपरमां मत्संस्थामधिगच्छति। नात्यश्नतस्तु योगोऽस्ति न चैकान्तमनश्नतः। न चातिस्वप्नशीलस्य जाग्रतो नैव चार्जुन। युक्ताहारविहारस्य तस्य कर्मसु युक्तस्वप्नावबोधस्य योगो भवति दुःखः। यदा विनियतं चित्तम् आत्मन्येवावतिष्ठते। निःस्पृहः सर्वकामेभ्यो
युक्त इत्युच्यते तदा। नमः परमर्षिभ्यो नमः परमर्षिभ्यः। हरिः ओम्। अन्तरायतिमिरूपशान्तये शान्तपावनमचिन्त्य वैभवम् तन्नरं वपुषि कुञ्जरं मुखे मन्महे किमपि तुन्दिलं महः। गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुः साक्षात् परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। यस्यान्तन्नादिमध्यं न हि करचरणं नामगोत्रं न सूत्रं नो जातिर्नैव वर्णा न भवति पुरुषो न नपुंसं न च स्त्री नाकारं नो विकारं न हि जनिमरणं नास्ति पुण्यं न पापं तत्त्वं नो तत्त्वमेकं सहजसमरसं सद्गुरुं तं नमामि। सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। मौनव्याख्या प्रकटितपरब्रह्मतत्त्वं युवानं वरिशिष्टान्तेव सदृशिगणैरावृतं ब्रह्मनिष्ठैः आचार्येन्द्रं करकलितचिन्मुद्रमानन्दरूपं स्वात्मा रामं मुदितवदनं दक्षिणामूर्तिमीडे वेदान्तार्थविभासकाय यतये शान्ताय सन्न्यासिने नानावादिनगेन्द्रसङ्गपवये योगीन्द्रवन्द्याय च मोहध्वान्तदिवाकराय भगवत्पादाभिधां बिभ्रते तस्मै भाष्यकृते नमोऽस्तु सततं पूर्णाय बोधात्मने अपारसच्चित्सुखवारिराशेः यस्योर्मिमात्रं भुवनं समस्तं गुहाहितं तं रमणं गभीरं चिन्ताविहीनं हृदि चिन्तयामि। देहं मृण्मयवज्जडात्मकमहं बुद्धिर्न तस्यास्थितो नाहं तत्तदभावसुप्तिसमये सिद्धात्मसद्भावतः कोऽहं भावयुतः कुतो वरधिया दृष्ट्वात्मनिष्ठात्मनां सोऽहं स्फूर्तितया अरुणाचलशिवः पूर्णो विभाति स्वयं शोणप्रभं सोमकलावतंसं पाणिस्फुरत्पञ्जशरेक्षुचापं प्राणप्रियं नौमि पिनाकपाणेः कोणत्रयस्थं कुलदैवतं नः। योऽन्तः प्रविश्य मम वाचम् इमां प्रसुप्तां सञ्जीवयत्य किल शक्तिधरस्वधाम्नाम् अन्यांश्च हस्तचरणश्रवणत्वगादीन् प्राणान् नमो भगवते पुरुषाय तुभ्यम्। न कर्मणाम् अनारम्भात् नैष्कर्म्यं पुरुषोऽश्नुते न च सन्न्यसनादेव सिद्धिं समधिगच्छति. In this shloka, okay. In this shloka, Bhagavan spoke about Siddhi. One has to attain. Siddhi means perfection, fulfillment. One has to attain a fulfillment. And what is that Siddhi? Generally people call Siddhi means some kind of magic, they call Siddhi. But what is the Siddhi here? Naishkarmya lakshanam nishtham. That is what Bhagavad Pada says. Naishkarmya Siddhi. The state where one is totally free of all karma. There is neither the urge to act, doership, enjoyership, nor the mind is running towards sensory objects. The 6th chapter it came, Edahi nendriyartheshu na karmasu anushajjate sarva sankalpa sannyasi yogarudhastatochyate. So that yogarudhatva, that is Siddhi. The mind remains quiet. Every day we have to do a little bit of practice to make the mind shanta, quiet. That is the only Siddhi that we have to attain. Or we think making a lot of money or health improvement. All these things are outside. If you can keep the mind shanta, that is the greatest yoga. What is the greatest yoga? Bhagavata says, Parohi yoga, the supreme yoga. Parohi yoga manasas samadhi. When the mind is in samadhi state, samadhi means it is totally peaceful. We train our mind sitting in meditation every day till we reach a state where not a single thought crosses when you are meditating. That is Raja Yoga, the royal yoga. Of course, for Jnana Yoga, whether thoughts comes or goes, a Jnani is not bothered. But that Raja Yoga Sthiti is also a great, wonderful state. Sthimita Salila Rashi Prakyam. As Shankaracharya says, like I said, the mind is like an ocean, like a roaring, thundering sea. Suddenly it becomes frozen, stays still. Just imagine that. Sthimita Salila Rashi Prakyam. Sthimita means coming to a stop, stillness. Salila Rashi means waves of ocean. Like that, the mind is slowly trained. It is not one day or 2 day job. Yoga Taravalila irke. Pashyan Udasinataya Vishwam. Velipadiya, Manasa Veli Vishayangal Vidama, practice Pandrathu, Ragadveshangal Nikarthi. You remove attachment, aversion, and do not allow the mind to go outward. Outwardly also there should be Tyaga, otherwise this Nirvikalpa Yoga will not happen. And artificially, if you can create mind that state by some bhajana or some nama japa, or you can do it. That is also good. But that will again jump out and go out. Because karma vasana is there. The urge to act, the desire for the fruit of action is there. So as long as it is there, even if the mind stays quiet, it will jala pakshivad rodha sadhanam. As Bhagavan Ramana Maharshi says, it is like putting a bird inside a cage. The moment you open the cage, the bird will fly away. So, nacha sanyasanadeva siddhyam samadhigacchati. Neither by outer renunciation, nor by an unintelligent practice of yoga, one attains the state of Naishkarmya Siddhi. See, Bhagavad Gita is a Shastra. Yoga Shastra. I always used to feel you need not learn so much. Simply take these 800 verses, not simply by-hearting it, because by-hearting is also a dangerous thing. People think after by-hearting, I know Bhagavad Gita. That is why Bhagavan said, Swalpamapyasya dharmasya. Even a little bit of this dharma will help you. Shankaracharya Bhashyakara also said something like that. What is it? Bhagavad Gita, kinchidadhida. You need not study fully. A little bit of absorbing the Gita. Yadi alpavidapi chittavan bhavati. Shankaracharya says in Bhashya, not in Bhagavad Gita Bhashya, it is somewhere else. Yadi alpavidapi yadi chittavan bhavati taduktartha grahanayaiva shrotumichanti nipunaha. கொஞ்சம் தெரிஞ்சவனா இருந்தா கூட நல்லா மனனம் பண்ணி அந்த அறிவு அவனோடது ஆயிருக்கான அதில் ஒரு வீரியம் வந்துடும். பெரிய பெரிய வித்வான்கள் விவேகிகள் கூட வந்து கேட்கறதுக்கு உட்காருவா. Even very, very intellectual people, those who are really yearning to attain that state, will come and listen, even if you know only little bit, but whatever you know, you have absorbed it. It has become yours. It has become a power in you. Knowledge becomes a power when you absorb it by constantly anushilayanti. That is the word which Bhagavad Pada uses. Upanishad is like a medicine, and that medicine will not work by one day taking it. It should become a sheelam. Sheelam means it should become a habit. Till it absorbs, your system absorbs that jnanam, and jnanam becomes a power in you. Who is a Jivan Mukta? The same knowledge only. The same knowledge becomes a power, then he becomes a Jivan Mukta. Deha, I am not the body. When you listen to it, one day you clearly listen, you are convinced. The same knowledge, when it becomes powerful, you are no more concerned about anything about the body. Because the knowledge has become your life. It has become an energy, vitality in you. No more you are concerned, no more you are afraid. Always there is santosha, shanti. Whatever may happen in the world, you have this knowledge alive that it is all mithya. Intellectually you know it is mithya, but something happens, some destiny invades, collapse. But whatever may happen, the knowledge arises like a fire and stands God. Then that person is a Mukta Purusha, is a free soul. So that is the thing. So simply by outer sannyasa, one will not become a sannyasi. That is the shloka. Nahi sanyasanadeva. See, this sannyasa is also something to be deeply explored. Shastra has deeply dealt what sannyasa is. See, Krishna is speaking so much about sannyasa. But Krishna is not a sannyasi in the way we understand it. And Vyasa, who has written it, is also not that kind of a sannyasi. So sannyasa is jnanam. It is tyaga. It is complete, utter renunciation. That renunciation you can do wherever you want. The others need not know. One devotee used to say, renounce but don't announce. You can renounce. Don't announce means it is not needed, but of course for a sampradaya, announcement is also needed. For a sampradaya, good monks must be there, they should take care of the mutt. That is a different thing. But even though outwardly sannyasa is taken, the essential fragrance of sannyasa comes only when true renunciation blossoms in the heart. When the karma vasana is over, when the loka vasana is taken away, when shastra vasana is taken away, when deha vasana is removed, then a person becomes a true sannyasi. So here Bhagavan says, you have to reach that state through karma yoga. Not by renouncing action. You have to renounce action. But how to renounce action? By offering the action and its fruit and its doership to Bhagavan. Ishwararpitam nechaya kritam chitta shodhagam mukti sadhagam. The next verse that also we saw. Nahi kaschit shadamapi Jato tishtatya karma kriti Karyadehi avashah karma Sarva prakriti jair gunaihi. On one side, Vedanta tells you that you are not in vasha of anything. You are not under the control of anything. You are Atma, you are Nitya Mukta. Eternally free, ever free. This is the Tattvam that a seeker has to listen from a Guru and meditate and realize. That I am the Nitya Mukta Atma, Nitya Shuddha Buddha Mukta Swabhava. On the other side, the Shastra says everyone is under the vasha of Prakriti. This is both. Sometimes, there is a peculiar theory in physics. I am not a physics person, but somewhere I read, very beautiful. They say two parallel ideas, both completely opposite, can be true. Now what is the time here? Evening, 6:45, 7. That is the time. And in America, what is the time? Morning 6 o'clock. And we ring somebody there and speak. And I say it is evening. And he says it is morning. Both are true, but we can never meet. Like that, those who worship Shakti, Maya, Divine Mother, they say everybody is under Mahamaya. Prakriti, we call, in Gita it is called Prakriti. In Bhakti we call it as Prakriti is worshipped as Parabrahma Mahishi. As Maya, Devi. Everybody is under that Maya. Nobody can escape. Even Jnanis, as long as they carry the body and mind, they are also under the Maya. That is the Vada of a Shakta. If you ask Shankaracharya says, what is Maya? There is no Maya. Ya ma sa Maya. That which does not exist, it is Maya. When he speaks in the Vedanta class, Shankaracharya says so. But in Saundarya Lahari, he says, O Divine Mother, the entire world is deluded by your power. Girama Hurdevim, very beautiful sloka. We call her Saraswati, Parvati, Lakshmi. Girama Hurdevim, Druhina Grihinim, Agama Vidaham. Hare Padnim Padmam, Harasahacharim Adritanayam. Turiyam Kabitvam Duradhigama Nissima Mahima Mahamaya Vishwam Brahmayati Varabrahma Mahishi. Turiya Kabitvam, very mystical language. Only Shankaracharya can write that. Bhagavad Gita says, Turiya Kabitvam. You are a power which arises from that Turiya Padam, from that fourth state, and suddenly blossoms as Jagrat, Swapna, Sushupti. Everyone is caught. Avasham Prakritehe Vashat. Jnaninam apichetamsi Devi Bhagavati sa balad akrishya mohaya mahamaya prechati. The Devi Mahatmya says, even the mind of jnanis, this Maya will pull out and create delusion. If you bring that shloka to me, I will say that jnani is not a Jivan Mukta, it is a scholar. But for a Vada, the Shakta can take that shloka. If some person gets deluded, he is not a jnani. A jnani means a Mukta Purusha, one who Maya herself has allowed to go out, you can see. Ya Mukti Hetuhu. Okay. So now, Avashaha, this is the word. All are under the sway of Prakriti. Just let us accept. Then humility will come. Sometimes you have to accept we are powerless. Then humility will come. When you listen Vedanta, you ascertain na kanchana namitumicchati. As Shankaracharya says, no more, nobody I will bow. Because whom kasyapyaho namaskuryam ahameko niranjanaha. How can I do namaskara to anybody? No one exists. Nistutihi nirnamaskaraha niswadhakara. On one side, this is the Vada. On the other side, Prabhustvam Deenanam Khalu Paramabandhuhu Pashupate. I am a Deena. I am a powerless. See, all these bhavas must be there in a Purna Purusha. All these bhavas must be there. And when you go and touch him, there is no bhava. He is pure Akasha. He is a crystal clear space. Akasha Kalpajnanam. But when needed, all these bhavas manifest. Okay. So, nahi kasyate kshanamapi jatu tishtati akarma krita. The first pradiknya is, Bhagavan says, not even for a moment you can be free of karma. Here karma means action, it also means samsara, it also means all the problems associated with it. Always you are under prakriti. Karyadehi avashah karma. See, you sit here, someday you are fresh, very healthy, someday you are not keeping well, someday you are able to listen, another day, Yadevi sarvabhudeshu nidra rupena samsthita. This is prakriti. How can you be free of it? Wow. Many factors control all these things. You come to satsanga taking a resolve, I will listen. On the way coming here, you enter some Playar Koval. And there they gave you Pongal. and okay, I will eat it, wash the hand clean and go to satsanga, then whole satsanga is gone. That Pongal is, is a mysterious prasada. Why it is called Pongal? Pongal means that which arises. It means it goes to the stomach, Mooladhara Chakra. From there it becomes Nidra Devi and arises up to the Sahasrara, and the Sahasrara Chakra Dabak closes and go to sleep. Some Satsanga Virodhi has found this, did some research and found this Pongal. So we are taking now. So okay. Karyadehi avashah karma. Everyone is avasha. Although I am joking, this is all true. Because nidra, sleep, is also a prakriti. Hunger is a prakriti. Suddenly you feel immensely hunger. You cannot meditate, you cannot listen. That is prakriti. Ya Devi sarvabhuteshu kshudarupena samsthita. See how beautifully prakriti is described. Bhranti rupena samsthita. Deluded knowledge comes. Wrong knowledge comes. You are listening, but wrong knowledge comes to the brain because the interpreting system is different. Suddenly you forget. What I listened today, forgot. Smriti rupena samsthita. So this is all the plane of Shakti, and that Shakti decides whether you have to do some action or not. Karyadehi avashaha karma. Sometimes great people do some blunder without thinking. A king like Parikshit, who had the vision of Krishna from the womb of his mother, took a dead snake and put it under in the neck of his rishi. This is a puerile act which no good person will do. Such a petty thing the king did. How? Prakritir Vashat. Prakriti made him do that. So you can see this activity, karma, is there in every cell of the body. That is why Krishna said, Arjuna, you cannot be otherwise. Nahi kasyit kshanamapi Jatu tishtatya karma kriti. Don't think. You can also interpret this verse in a different way. Don't think that your spirituality depends upon doing and not doing. If you have this idea, then we will not have contentment, santosham. நான் இதெல்லாம் விட்டுட்டு அப்புறம்தான் நான் அத்தியாத்மமாக போகிறேன், ரிட்டையர் ஆனதுக்கு அப்புறம். ரிட்டையர் ஆகிற வரை உயிரோடு இருப்பேன்னு என்ன நிச்சயம்? நிஸ்வாசேன ஹி விஸ்வாசா. இல்லையா? மூச்சு காத்து வெளியில் போனால் உள்ள திரும்ப வரும்னு சொல்ல முடியுமா? நாளைக்கு இருப்போம் தெரியாது. யூ ஆர் நாட் ஷுவர் அபவுட் டுமாரோ. So don't depend either upon renunciation or doing for your freedom. You know God, that God has happened to you as your own Atmavastu, as your own inner self. Know that what exists in you as the existence, as pure consciousness, is divine. And be established there. Let Prakriti have its way. And it is not going to stop. Simply by dying also you are not going to escape. Death is only a temporary state. By dying, this flow of action will not stop. So, karyadehi avashah karma sarva prakriti jayir gunahi. All are in the hands of prakriti jayir guna. Prakriti gunaha. Sattva, rajas, tamo gunaha. So, Jnaninam tu gunaihi achalyamananam swataha chalana abhavad karma yogo na upapadyate. Ajnanam evahi karma yogo na jnaninam. This is a simple Shastra fact. People usually say karma yoga, jnani alone can be karma yogi. That is one side. Actually, jnani's yoga is not karma yoga. It is akarma. Karma yoga is a sadhana. When you offer the karma as a puja, worship to Bhagavan, that is karma yoga. So it is a sadhana. Okay, so we will see the next verse. Karmendriyani samyamya yaaste manasasmaran indriyarthan vimudhatma mithyacharassa uchyate. Karmendriyani samyamya, by simply controlling the outer sense organs. Hastadini samyamya samhritya yaha vishayana manasa smarana chintayan vimudha. Sometimes, people outwardly give up everything and go and sit in some Himalayan caves. But they have no real knowledge. Sometimes spiritual vesha comes by mere fascination. And people take to sannyasa or that kind of dressing and sitting in a cave in meditation because it gives you respect. And the mind will be constantly brooding over money, fame, name, power, all these things. The mind is not meditating on Bhagavan, no anushtana, nothing, but inwardly, although outwardly he might be doing. See, sometimes it happens with every one of us. We try to meditate, sit. You can keep the body still. That is the first step practiced. That is a good practice. In Buddhism also it is there. We call it asanam. Sthira Sukham Asanam. Sthiram means stable. Sukham means comfortable. Sit long duration. In Buddhism, they have such a practice. Hours and hours they will train to sit. You make a small move, the teacher will beat with a cane. So that is a practice. So here, outwardly you will train your body not to move, but inwardly the mind will be brooding over. So this is what Bhagavan here says, such a person is a hypocrite. Karmendriyani samyamya, if a person goes on doing like that, he becomes hypocrite. But everybody is a hypocrite in the beginning. First, when you sit for meditation, this will be the state. When you start training yourself to meditate, you physically sit without movement, mind runs here, there, imagining many things. Then slowly you bring the mind back to the source, make it abide in the self, make it quiet. You train, you start the sadhana like that only. Here Bhagavan says about people who do deliberately. Only their outer senses, karma, indriya, karmendriyani, only karmendriyas are controlled. Their mind is running after worldly objects. Then such a person is a mithyachara. His achara is mithya. See, with this we can judge all that we are doing. Acharam solrome. Acharathula essence irukkaanu paathukudum. வெளிப்படியாக ஆச்சாரம் காட்டின போகிறது. ஆச்சாரத்துக்கு உள்ள வாஸ்தவமான பக்தி இருக்கா, பகவத் தியானம் இருக்கா, இல்லை பிரத்தியாருக்கு காட்டுறதுக்காக தடபுடா பண்ணுறேனா? Kapila Bhagavan says in Kapilopadesha in Bhagavata, he says a person who does puja, ostentatious puja. Is the right word? So ostentatious puja. With all gold, silver, everything. And has no bhakti, no love in his heart. And has no love for those who are suffering, those who he will not help anybody, no compassion, nothing. And Kapila says such a person is not doing puja, he is doing prahasana. In a sort of English level. Kurute archa vidambanam. Kapila Bhagavan says he is doing in the name of puja, he is actually insulting me. It is not real puja. So that becomes a mithyachara. But you should not go to the other extreme also. No puja, only social service, compassion. It means only this, that the outer thing should really resonate in harmony with the inner one. There should be a balance. What the heart does feel, that the body does. There will be weaknesses, but we should not give importance to that. The body should do puja and slowly the mind also train. Generally, I used to tell devotees when they say, sometimes they will start doing japa. So they will ask, mind is not cooperating. When we start doing japa, mind runs here, there. And people say that without a concentrated mind, japa is all waste. You should have a very concentrated mind. What should we do? General advice that I will give is, take the mantra and decide for 1 hour I will sit and do japa. And give a whole world tour ticket to the mind. Let the mind go anywhere. Let the mind think anything. You just tell yourself, I will not come with you. Wherever you go. Non-cooperation with the mind. For me, that Guru Ajna is do japa, I will do japa. This is for the beginning. This is for the beginning. Now slowly the mind will lose its power over us. Because we are not cooperating. We are not bothered about even stopping the mind. We have no association with it. So this is one way of getting out of its trap. Only if you have this resolve, you will be able to do your Nityanushtana. Otherwise, one day the mind is cooperating, you feel like meditating, you sit for 3 hours. Next day, no puja, no anushtana. Because the mind is not cooperating. The mind is very, very deceptive. It will say, I am your friend. We will meditate today. And you will meditate. Next day it will say, no, yesterday I came with you. Today you come with me to cinema theatre. So this is useless. So first, you just ignore the mind and start doing the spiritual practices prescribed. Then next step is slowly take hold of the mind also. Shanaihi uparamet buddhya dhriti grihitaya. This comes in 6th chapter, but I am taking it here. Bhagavan says, by gentle force, slowly, in a mild way, slowly give a turn to the mind towards Bhagavan. If you have satsanga, if you have nama sankirtana, you have good darshan in temple, slowly the bhakti will come. By satsanga you will have jnana vichara. So all that will have the impact while you try to meditate, and there the quality will improve. Slowly the quality will improve. Thus, lalayeti chitta balakam. Nadragidi shanaihi lalayeti chitta balakam. Yoga Vasishta says the mind is like a pampered child. Now you slowly lead it towards spiritual state, meditative state, by once sometimes advising, sometimes by discipline method, sometimes by association with great saints, by nama japa, by all that process. Slowly the mind becomes, it starts cooperating, it becomes quiet, it becomes shanta. Tanumanasi. That is what Yoga Vasishta gives, Sattvapatti, Asamsakti. First is Shubhecha, Vicharana, Tanumanasi, Sattvapatti, Asamsakti, Padartha Abhavani, Turyaga. These are the Saptabhumika. First comes a resolve that I want spiritual life. I want to attain that state. This is the resolve. Then comes vicharana, association with saints, getting this knowledge. Then your spiritual life slowly moves with awareness. Then comes tanumanasi, the mind is slowly attenuated. The mind becomes quiet, it becomes mild, it becomes less harmful. That itself is a great thing. So, outward control alone is not enough, but outward control is needed. So we should not misinterpret this verse. That is simply controlling outwardly. It only says mere outward control and allowing the mind to wander about will lead to spiritual accident. Okay, next verse. Yastvindriyani manasa niyamyarabhaderjuna karmendriyaihi karmayogam asaktas savishishyate. Yahatu indriyani manasa niyamya. A person who by his mind, with his resolve, controls the senses and thus begins his spiritual life. That is also one way. Suppose you cannot do any outer spiritual sadhana. Wherever you are put, in that karma field, it's inwardly you start doing sadhana. Inwardly you start meditating on Bhagavan or start speaking to Bhagavan. Telling Bhagavan, Bhagavan, I am in this samsara, I am bound, when will I be free? You should rescue me, I am caught in this samsara. Asare samsare nijabhajana dure jadadhiya brahmantam vamandham paramakripaya padum uchitam. That is uchitam. That is good for you and good for me. You please rescue me. I am caught in this samsara which is nissara. There is no sara, there is no essence in it. O Bhagavan, you please protect me, make my mind pure, make my senses orderly, and make my mind stay in a meditative state, thus constantly speaking to Bhagavan, having association with Bhagavan. Slowly the mind will come to control. Savishishyate. Bhagavan says such a one is a great person. He is a superior devotee, a yogi. Karmendriyaihi karmayogam. Asak karmendriyas are all active in the world. That is another says. Karmendriyas are all working. Vani gunanugathanem shravanau kathayam hastau cha karmasu manaha tava padayo nah smrityam shiraha tava nivasa jagat praname drishtis sadam darshanestu bhavattanunam. Bhagavata, there is a verse which says, let my hand constantly work, but my mouth will be chanting your name, speaking about Bhagavan, mind will be meditating on you, inwardly I will be worshipping you in all forms. There was one Panduranga Bhakta, he never went to Pandharpur temple. He will be always worshipping, working in a vegetable garden. Nobody considered him as a Bhakta. One day, Jnaneshwara Namadeva, when they went to Pandharpur, they saw there is no Vittal there. Hey, they were searching, where did he go? Suddenly they found he is going through another route outside. Then they followed, where is he going? They followed Bhagavan, then he was fast walking outside the area where people are staying and going to a village, and they also followed him. And there he went and saw this devotee constantly working in the garden. Jnaneshwara saw, what is this greatness? He saw that he is seeing every vegetable, every plant, every tree as Vitthala. And he is singing, oh Vitthala, you are the tomato, you are the potato. Vendaka nida, Murungaka nida, Urlakanga nida, Yellam he Panduranga. And to see such a Jnani, Panduranga went there. This is the story. The essence of story is, when you have God in your mind, you see God everywhere. Outwardly, you need not do any puja. If you cannot, that is also a beautiful life. That is another thing. We should neither say that you need not outer puja is not needed. On the other hand, there are also beautiful saints, though they are not outwardly doing any puja, outwardly not even sannyasis, ordinary grihasthas, constantly working in the world, but they all reach the state of a Paramahamsa. There are many like that. Many people, many were there. They will be in the world, but they are not in the world. A boat should remain in water, water should not enter the boat. As Ramakrishna says, in Malayalam it is very beautiful. Vallam vellathil kedakanam, vellam vellathil kayararuthu. Vellam means water, vallam means boat. If vellam enters vallam, vallam will sink. So, yastu indriyani manasani yamya, one who controls all the senses by the mind. How to control senses by the mind? When the mind is full of Bhagavan. Shankaracharya, there is an Upanishad mantra which says, when the food becomes pure, mind will become pure. And people took it only in one aspect. Ramanacharya took it very seriously as the eating food. So he has given a very beautiful commentary for that. The food, the vegetable must be pure, genetically pure, and the person who is cooking, he should be pure, and many other things. Samsarga dosha, that is what many people are practicing. So when the ahara becomes pure, food becomes pure, the mind will gain purity. Shankaracharya gave a different meaning. He said, ahara is not something which you take only through the mouth. through the eyes, through the ears, through the nose, through the touch, through all the five senses, you are swallowing things. Ahriyate iti aharaha shabdadi vishaya vijnanam. Sound, taste, forms, all these are ahara. When everything becomes pure, the mind will become pure. That we know very well. No? Constantly eating negative things, mind will become impure. So how to make the senses pure? Then connected to that verse comes, through all the senses you should see only Bhagavan. Yatra yatra manoyati brahmanaha tatra darshanam. Wherever the mind goes, there you behold only Brahman. Yatra yatra manoyati tatra tatra samadhaya. Wherever the mind goes, there is samadhi. Then purity will come. How is it possible? That is possible only when you know that what is being seen, what is being heard, what is smelt, what is touched, what is thought about, abhimana-vritti, everything is Atma. Atma paschad, Atma purastad, Atma dakshinataha, Atmottaradaha, Atmaivedam sarvam. Evam pashyan, evam manvanaha, evam vijanan, Atmaratihi, Atmakridaha, Atmamithunaha, Atmananda. This is the absolute Advaita. This says, in front of me is Atman, behind me is Atman, right side, left side, everywhere. Inwardly the mind also, every thought, every desire, every emotion, every time, space, destiny, everything is Atman. This was the state of Prahlada. Exactly as a commentary for this mantra is Prahlada Stuti in Bhagavatam. Prahlada says, Tvam Vayuhu, Agnihi, Avanihi, Vyad, Ambumatraha, Pranendriyani, Hridayam, Chid, Anugrahasya, Sarvam Tvameva. When that kind of Atma Nishchaya, it is not possible to see everybody as Atma. Somebody asked Bhagavan Ramana Maharshi that this in the Shastras say a Jnani looks at everybody as Atman. What is Bhagavan's vision? Maharshi said, Ningala enna paakrelo adha nanu paakrenpa. Whatever you see, only that I am also seeing. But you are seeing more than me. This is this person, that person, he belongs to our place, he belongs to another place. I like him, I don't like him. All these differentiations, separations, Veda Buddhi, this creates attachment, aversion, raga, dvesha, and mind is born. Instead of that, this is all Atma. Shruti Pramanaikavatihi. By simply having the conviction that the Upanishad says everyone is Atma. இதுக்குள்ளெல்லாம் அந்த ஆத்மஸ்வரூபம் தானே இருக்கு. எல்லாரும் அந்த ஆத்மா தான், பகவான் தான். இது நிச்சயம் பண்ணிக்கிறது, அப்படியே பழகிறது. யாருக்கிட்டே அசூயை இல்லை, திரஸ்காரம் இல்லை, ராகத்வேஷம் இல்லை. எல்லாத்தையும் ஆத்மஸ்வரூபமாகவே உள்ள பாவம் பண்ணிக்கிறது. அப்படி வந்துடுத்தானா இந்திரியங்கள் கொஞ்சம் கொஞ்சமாக அடங்கும். அப்பதான் அடங்கும். அப்போ சரீரத்தால் வேலை பண்ணிட்டு இருந்தாலும் பரவாயில்ல, ஒன்றும் சமாதி கலையவே கலையாது. உள்ள என்னோட ஹிருதயத்தில் எது நகம் இருக்கோ அதுவே ஆத்ம சமாதி. வெளியில் தொடர்ந்து பார்க்குற நாம ரூபங்கள் எல்லாமும் பகவத் ஸ்வரூபம், உள்ள ஆத்மஸ்வரூபம். கண்ண முடிந்த வேதாந்தம், கண்ண திறந்த பக்தி. Open the eyes, bhakti. Close the eyes, Vedanta. You close the eyes, only Atman exists, nothing exists. With open eyes, see everyone as God. Sarva bhuteshu yah pashyet bhagavad bhavam atmana. Atmanaha bhagavad bhavam only. Bhagavad bhavam, how to see? First is know that they are all Atma, then just by faith, as you see in the temple, it is Rama. Like that, you have the bhava that everyone is Bhagavan. And slowly that knowledge will ripen to a state of Ananda. அது வர வரைக்கும் பழகணும். அது மருந்து போல பழகி பழகி யார்கிட்டையும் இல்லை ராகம் இல்லை, துவேஷம் இல்லை, அன்பு வந்துடுறது. எல்லார்கிட்டையும் ஜெனுவினாக இருக்கிற அன்பு வந்துடுறது. அதே சமயம் அட்டாச்மெண்ட் இல்லை. எல்லாருக்குள்ளேயும் பகவான் இருக்காருன்னு தெரிகிறது. அப்படி தெரியற அந்த உண்மையான பக்தி வந்துடும். சவிசிஷ்யதே. So Bhagavan said such a person is superior. Okay, அடுத்த ஸ்லோகம். நியதம் குரு கர்மத்வம் கர்மஜ்யாயோ ஹ்யகர்மணः ஷரீரயாத்ராபி சதே न प्रसिद्धेद अकर्मणः. Bhagavan gives a beautiful name for this life, our life. He calls it is Sharira Yatra. உடம்போடு யாத்திரையாக்கும், ஆத்மாவோட யாத்திரை இல்லை. The body first manifests as a germ inside the stomach of a lady. Kalilam tu ekaratrena panjaratrena budbhutam deshahena cha karkandhuhu. Through slowly it develops hands, legs, face, everything comes and comes out as a child. Vidyaranya Swami says, you don't need any other magic show. A little Shukla Shonita becomes like this, speaking here, hearing there. All this is all Indrajalam, Kim Indrajalam Aparam. This is sheer magic. So this life of ours is a Sharira Yatra. Bodies travel. Why it is called Sharira Yatra? Atma has no Yatra. Atma is all pervading, sarvavyapi, movementless, nachalati. And Sharira only takes birth and starts moving towards where? Cremation ground. Smashanaya bhejire. The Mulu Shloka Aparma Chalitara. Secret Achal. E Prajam Neshire Dhiraha Amritatvam hi veshire. That's the opposite. Sharira Yatra. Garbhapatra, from Garbhapatra it moves. Sharira Yatra. That is our life. Bhagavan is very, very, very supreme intelligence is there in Gita. He says, you should have spirituality, but basically you should have at least livelihood. Yeah. Spirituality agan jolli parathiyar kashtam kuduttundu thinnunde ukandindrudha enna pandrathu. Ramana Bhagavan gitta vandu orthar, one person came to Ramanacharnathirtha and he said, I have come to do sadhana, but they say I can stay only 3 days in ashram. I thought by coming to Ramanacharnathirtha I can meditate. They will give me morning only 4 or 5 at least. Afternoon Chapad, payasam, if one day you miss, doesn't matter. Evening tea, coffee, night food, then I will meditate. This is sometimes idea people have, That is why they say, if you want to meditate, you take bhiksha. So this person, after 3 days, came to Maharshi with a complaint and they said you can stay only 3 days. Only people who are working can stay in ashram. Ashram can provide food for them. Then Bhagavan said what to do. They do not have that much money to keep all people here and feed them. So only workers are kept here constantly. I am also doing some work. See, he is saying, I am giving darshan to people. எல்லாருக்கும் தர்ஷனம் கொடுக்குறேன், லெட்டர்லாம் வாசித்து பதில் போடுறேன். Bhagavan considered it as his work. He considered that his work only. This is only தொழில். எல்லாரும் ஒரு வேலை பண்ண, நான் இந்த வேலை பண்ணிட்டு இருக்கேன், அவ்வளோதான். அதனால எனக்கு சாப்பாடு கொடுக்குறான். They are giving me food because I am giving darshan. Otherwise, they will not give me food. So this is simple common sense. Everyone has to do some work. Tukaram, there is a abhang of Tukaram, where he says, that is their attitude. The Varakari, Sampradaya, they never took sannyasa, bhiksha. So for sannyasi, of course, bhiksha is okay. But Tukaram says, if a grihastha takes for bhiksha, Narayana will give him up. The grihastha should not take bhiksha. Narayana will renounce him. He should work. As long as he has physical power, he should do something. So whatever karma has fallen to your Lord, Niyadam karma, Nityam karma. In whatever karma you have adhikara, adhikritaha. Whatever karma you have got for your livelihood, do it. ஊருக்கு முன்னால் எல்லாம் விட்டுடாத. கர்மஜ்யாயோ ஹி அகர்மணஹா. Don't be in a haste to renounce action. Action will renounce you. தேங்காய் சரவினா ஒட்டிகிட்டே இருக்கும் சரட்டையில். அது கொட்டாங்குச்சி எடுத்தனா அப்படியே விட்டு போயிடும். இது இங்கிலீஷில் எனக்கு சொல்ல தெரியாது, அதனால எப்படி தமிழ் சொல்கிறேன். சரி இல்லையா? கர்ம தானா விட்டு போயிடும். கர்ம completely leaves you, you are totally free. But when you leave karma, a little bit will be lingering there. So niyadam kuru karmatvam. Whatever action has fallen as your dharma, do it. Karma jyayo hi akarmana. Such actions are certainly superior to non-action. Sometimes, by acting, by doing, you will have more spiritual benefit than not doing. Sometimes I find, very often I also used to feel, Kanchi Paramacharya has spoken like this. I am not imitating him, but I have found in my own experience, sometimes when I am constantly moving, working, speaking to people, there is more meditativeness, and sometimes even in the gap, my Nitya Anushtana is very, very fresh. And for long duration, nothing is happening alone. Of course, that time also there will be absorption, but sometimes then also dullness will be there. Body will be very non-cooperating. These things will be there. So this is a mystery. You cannot say that by giving up action, taking, people will say rest. Swami Chinmayananda, he will be constantly working, talking. And devotee said, Swamiji, you should rest. He said, if I rest, I rust. So sometimes that for certain people action is more good than withdrawal. Uparati, that is what Vedanta says. Uparati is the fruit of Karma Yoga. If you have lived a perfect Karma Yogic life, your inner being will tell, ultimately it will blossom. Swami Vivekananda says, after so much working, the body is shattered. So many diseases in the body. And he was only 38. When he died, he was 39. At that time, he said, so much tapas has come over me. One day, one of his Guru Bhai, Swami Subodhananda, was serving him. He said, Koka, I'm telling you, so much tapas has come over me. Ask any boon, it will be given to you. He was constantly working, and behind that work there was only love, there was only compassion, there was no desire for name or fame or anything. So that action became a tapas. It became an immense tapas. And no attachment also. After doing so much, he said, it's all utter trash. And he had that samadhi constantly in him, even in his later days, merged in that state he was. So this is possible for even a karma yogi. Constantly you are on the field of karma. But Paramacharya said this. Kanchi Chandrasekharendra Saraswati Swami, he said, I often think that I should go to seclusion and meditation. That he did. Very beautifully he combined tapas and work. On one side he will be moving about, meeting people, speaking to people, and suddenly he will completely withdraw from everything. Sometimes for months he will not be available. That kind of tapasya also was there. And once he said, I feel like renouncing everything and meditating, but what to do? Divine Mother has done a trick, and she has tuned my inner being in such a way that when I speak to you, meditation happens to me. So that her work also will happen. So this is, karma is happening, yoga is also there. Karma is there, yoga is also there. Niyadam kuru karmatvam karma jyayo hi akarmanaha. Laziness is no good. You can simply translate it like this. Laziness is no good. Constantly work, at least your body will be healthy. Otherwise, what will be? Meditate. Meditation is also not happening. Only one profit you got, a big dining table. So better, why not work? For certain sadhakas, working is good. Sometimes, by constantly working, mind will not run after worldly things. That will also, you can chant Bhagavan's Nama and work. Work already you are doing, add Bhagavan Nama also. Add Bhagavan Nama also. Let Nama Japa be there and the body work. There is a Abhang of Tukaram where he says, Mukhi Nama Hati Moksha. He says, if you have Nama in your Mukha, Moksha is in your hand. You can have your Swadharma, you can have your work, but chant Bhagavan Nama and liberation is there for you. Everything that you do becomes pure. You are cooking instead of cookie. You know what that is? My prarabdha is, destiny is like this, I have to cook. Others are working in office, they are joyfully going here, there. I am cooking. And when that food is served to the family people, they eat it, it goes inside and mysterious sound comes in the stomach. Because all these murmurings, it will also make in the stomach. It is like a goods train running. So you can deify the food by constantly chanting Bhagavan Nama, Bhagavan Nama. And your cooking becomes a puja. It all becomes prasada, nivedya, yadyat karma karomi tattad akhilam shambho tava aradhanam. Whatever karma I am doing, oh Bhagavan, it all becomes your worship, your aradhana. So it is better to add Bhagavad Bhakti, Bhagavan Nama to action than renouncing the action. Action will renounce you. When the time comes, when the jnana comes, action will renounce you. Sometimes action will renounce, still activity will happen. That is how Shankaracharya acted in the world. Moved about everywhere in India. The body was constantly acting, and he said, Asangoham, Asangoham, Asangoham punah punah. Sachidananda rupoham ahamevaham avyayaha. So, niyatam kuru karmatvam, karma jyayo hi akarmanaha, jyayaha. It is shrestha. It is greater than akarma. It is greater than laziness. Without doing something, you cannot even live. சாப்பாடு கூட கிடைக்காது. கொஞ்சம் வேலை பண்ணி உழைச்சி சம்பாதிச்சு சாப்பிடு சந்தோஷமா இருக்கும். ஏதோ ஒரு வேலை பண்ணி சம்பாதிச்சு சந்தோஷமா சாப்பிடு. இவ்வளவுதான் உபதேசம். अतः दृष्टः कर्मा कर्मणोः विशेषो लोके. To demonstrate that, see, Krishna is not sitting idle. Constantly he was working. Right from the day of his birth, he has started his yatra. It was raining, heavy shower. At that time, our Vasudeva took little Krishna in his head and started walking. He was not concerned whether the baby will catch cold. But people in Vaikuntha were concerned. So his 2-in-1 bed cum umbrella came. Adisesha came, holding like this, and took to Gokulam. There also, he was working constantly. Every day he had to finish somebody. Right from Putana, Trinavarta, somebody or the other Kamsa will send. So much work to do. So to keep up the health, he started taking butter. Constantly working, and in war field at least he could have kept quiet. He was working. Driving chariot is very difficult. At least the fighter, he can escape from arrows and javelins thrown, but the danger is for the charioteer. When Dronacharya created a vyuha that nobody can penetrate and enter. Padma Vyuha was created. Padma Vyuha created. Arjuna entered that. He broke into it and entered. Within few minutes of the beginning of the war, he was already on the road. Then Duryodhana came to Dronacharya and started fighting. You, Gurunatha, you said nobody can break. Drona said, Arjuna, see, I never told you nobody. I told you no one other than Arjuna can break it. You remember my word? Yes, I remember that. But so quickly he goes there. There are 3 reasons for that. First reason is, it is Arjuna. Second reason is, those horses, they are so bright that wherever they find a space, they will enter. And third, you know the reason. Who is the driver? You know the reason. Nothing can be done. And so enthusiastic Krishna is driving the chariot day and night, working, sweating, whole body covered with dust. It is not your makeup Krishna in the painting. That is not the real Krishna. In a shloka, Lalitagati Vilasa Valkuhasa Iti Madirupa Kalpita Vidrishna Bhagavati Satvada Pungave Vibhumni Swasukamupagate Kojit Vihartum Prakritimupe Yushiyat Bhava Pravaha Tribhuvana Kamanam Tamala Varnam. Tribhuvana Kamanam means that which can put you to ecstasy, put the entire world to ecstasy. Tribhuvanakamanam tamalavarnam, that kind of a form. Ravikaragau ravarambaram dadhane, that golden colored dress, like the blue cloud, that body, driving the horse so fast. Bhishma is describing in Bhagavatam. He says, whole body sweating. Ravikara Gauravarambaram Dadane Vapura Alakakula Avradananabjam, all disheveled hair. Ratirastume Yudi Turaga Rajo Vidhumra Vishwa Kacha Lulita Shramavadi Alankartasye. That Alankara is sweat. And the sweat has collected so much dust. And the head is all disheveled. You just imagine that kind of a Krishna. That kind of a Krishna is being pictured in Bhagavatam, and Bhishma says it is so beautiful. அவ்வளவு உழைப்பு இல்லையா? எந்த கர்மா அவளோட கர்மாவோ அந்த கர்மா அவளை அப்படி உழைக்கிறது. குதிரை ஓட்டுறதா சரி, எச்சில இலையை எடுக்கணுமா, எடுத்தார் ராஜசூயத்தில். He was the cleaner in the kitchen during Rajasuya Yaga. He did every work that is needed to be done. After that only he is giving Upadesha. Niyatam Guru Karmatvam Karmajyayo hi akarmanaha Sharira Yatra Pichate Na Prasiddhyeda Karmanaha. When you do an action, there should be love behind. When you have in your heart that bhakti, the action becomes yajna spontaneously. If not done as yajna, any action will bind. That is the next verse. Yajnarthat karmanonyatra lokoyam karma bandhanaha Tadartham karma kaunteya mukta sangas samachara. O Kaunteya, you become a mukta sangha, a jivan mukta. No attachment to anything, anywhere, and constantly work in the world in the spirit of yajna. Yajno vai Vishnuhu. Yajna means another name for Bhagavan. When there is heart behind the action, when there is genuine love behind the action, when there is a feel for the well-being of the other, then that action naturally becomes yajna. If not done by genuine love, every action will be arising from selfishness. நல்ல நல்ல காரியங்கள்லாம் சம்டைம்ஸ் எதுக்கு பண்ணுறான்னு பார்த்தா ஏதோ மோட்டிவ் இருக்கும் பின்னாடி. தப்பு கிடையாது, பட் தட் வில் பைண்ட். A physician, a doctor can serve his patient with love also, compassion. There will be an imperceptible sacred energy behind that act. Sometimes he has to keep awake in the night and serve the patient. That energy cannot be detected. That energy cannot be, the patient will certainly recognize that this doctor is not like an ordinary person. And the doctor also will feel the spiritual benefit of it. Some nectarine feeling will be there inside. But that cannot be solidly, concrete form, it cannot be found. And that feeling is the spirit of yajna. The same doctor can serve patients simply for, this is my profession, unconcerned, no love, only money. Then it becomes, then also that doctor is needed. Then also that doctor can be helpful in doing, he will be a good doctor, a surgeon, just like a mechanical thing, he will do everything, the work will be finished. But for the doctor, that will not be yoga. It will not be yajna. So I am taking an example of medical science. This is same for any other work. Wherever you are working, if you add the divine element, some Vishishta Bhava comes to the action. But whether you add it or not, even if you sometimes we have seen some practical difficulties. Some ashramas, they never take money for their service. They don't charge anything. They will give you room free. You can stay there, do sadhana or something. And there are some other ashramas, they are thoroughly professional. Sometimes we come across such places. But the problem that arises is, these service-oriented ashramas, they will work as long as there is a saintly person to guide. If the saintly person is no more there, then also as an ideal they will continue. But the bed that is put in the couch, the bed sheet also was put when India got freedom. Nobody will, because it is all free, no one will be concerned to change it, no cleaning, no washing, nothing, because it is no benefit. So worldly people, it is very difficult to serve clearly with love without any benefit. So naturally, if you go to a professional place, hotel, or even an ashram which is like a hotel, they are answerable because they are taking money. So when you can fight with them, so they will be afraid. A little bit of cleanliness, purity will be maintained. So this is the practical difficulty you will see in the world. You should be serving, and there should be love behind that service. And when this spirit goes so deep that there will be no sort of the avajna, kind of disregard or lack of real enthusiasm behind it, just it will not become mechanical. There will be true love will be dynamic there. The love will be really dynamic. Then it is okay. Then that action becomes a yajna. That action will not bind, that action will liberate. If such yajna is done, one day you are sure to meet Bhagavan as a Vamana. He comes there and he grows and spreads and swallows everything. Then the yajna becomes really fruitful. Otherwise, the yajna will be always tarnished by human desire, motive, ego, arrogance, everything. Because collectively people have to do, collectively when we do anything, there will arise problems. That is why every institution is filled with some kind of gossip, fighting. All these things enter everywhere. So, yajnarthat karmanonyatra, any action performed not for yajna, without the yajna spirit, lokoyam karma bandhana. These people get bound by that. Tadartham karma kaunteya, hey Arjuna, work for love. Work with true love. Let your heart open. Swami Vivekananda said somewhere, do you want to serve the world? First you should know what is the problem of the world. Then that should make you sleepless. You should feel the pain in your heart. Then you should have the solution for it. Then if you speak, each word that you utter will tell like thunderbolt. Because there is power behind it, then it becomes a true yajna. So Mukta Sangha Samachara, without any attachment, without any selfish motive, you work. So this is the message that Bhagavan says, and Bhagavan says, when Prajapati created the world, he created us with this advice that you can work, but work for the well-being of all. Lokaha samastaha sukhino bhavantu. That is the yajna spirit. With that bhava you work. That we will continue tomorrow. நாளைக்கு காத்தால விவேகச்சூடாமணி வச்சுக்கலாம். 7 மணிக்கு தானே, 7 மணிக்கு விவேகச்சூடாமணி, 7லேருந்து 8. தமிழில் தான். மார்னிங் will have Vivekachudamani in Tamil.
Satyam jnanamanantam nityamanakasham paramakasham koshtha prangana ringanalola paramayasam maya kalpitananakaram bhuvanakaram shmamanathamanatham pranamata govindam paramanandam govindam paramanandam bhaja govindam paramanandam govindam paramanandam bhaja govindam paramanandam snana vyakulayoshidvastramupadaya gamuparudham vyaditsantiratadigvastrahyupadadumupakarşantam nirbhutadvaya shoka vimoham buddham buddherantastham sattamatra shariram pranamata govindam paramanandam govindam paramanandam bhaja govindam paramanandam govindam paramanandam bhaja govindam paramanandam kantam karana karanamadimanaadim kalamanabhasam kalindigata kaliya shirasi sunrityantam muhuratyantam kalam kalakalaatitam kalidashesham kalidoshaghram kalatrayagatihetum pranavata govindam paramanandam govindam paramanandam bhaja govindam paramanandam